One of the most common ways creators destroy their own careers is by being overly active on social media. Since a lot of YouTubers start off their career just by doing what they love in their own free time, they're never quite prepared for the fame and the pressures of a large following. A content creator with no real convictions or thick skin can easily fall into the trap of trying to please everyone. And that's exactly what happened with Brad Taste in Music, a music review YouTuber whose mental breakdown and downward spiral all started with a simple picture. Brad Taste in Music made a name for himself doing streams, listening to and critiquing music albums. Although many people have criticized his work for being lazy, having low effort, and lacking much insight, a steady stream of releases and a good relationship with his audience have seen him grow to a decent number of followers. His relationship with his community will ultimately be his undoing. The first incident in a chain reaction of disasters happened in late June when he took and posted a picture with Ethan and Hila Klein from the H3H3 podcast. Brad was a fan of the podcast and happy to post a picture with the people he liked and looked up to. Unknowingly to him, however, his community was the exact opposite. The picture was met with massive criticism. People accused Brad of promoting pro-genocide Zionists. Things got so out of hand that other creators had to call out the situation for being a non-issue.
What did he do?
He took a picture with H3H3. This is the only reason, and I wish I was kidding.
Why is anybody even thinking about this? Who does this? It's just rapping. It's not even rapping.
He looks up to them, he likes them, he wants to take a picture with them, he got to meet them. Pretty cool, okay? Pretty cool. Well, his audience apparently got really mad at him. You can see from the first reply here, it says, check out this thread of the Kleins being Zionists and IDF supporters. This sucks to see. And this is like how all the replies were too, right? I mean, this tweet is now deleted, but this is how all the replies were. They were all like, Ethan Klein's a Zionist, he's genocidal, Hila is genocidal, she was in the IDF. I don't know how much of this is like genuine anti-Semitism. I'd expect that's some of it, but I think people are kind of conflating that with like leftist internet brain rot, right? And you know, obviously I have to give the disclaimer, and it's not just a disclaimer, I do genuinely believe this, okay? Not every leftist, not every socialist, or even every communist is a completely person, okay? The problem is when you let this particular kind of terminally online leftist control your life, and he has been letting that happen.
It's a claim people believe because of the fallout between Hassan and Ethan Klein on the Leftovers podcast, which happened as a result of Ethan not being 100% on the side of Palestine and Hamas like Hassan was. It's also compounded by the fact that Hila, Ethan's wife, formerly worked in the IDF as part of the mandatory service. But despite all that, it's not as clear-cut as people make it out to be, as Ethan and Hila have clarified many times that they do support Palestinians and have even donated on different occasions. With all the nuances involved, Brad cracked under the pressure and apologized. He tweeted, "This image made a statement that I did not intend to make, and I'd like to apologize for people who were hurt and upset by this. I also apologize for my quick response as it was dismissive towards people who care about me and others deeply. I appreciate you looking out for me." He continued, "I'm aware that being around Ethan and Hila at the moment is very questionable. I wanted to meet them despite people's valid criticisms of them. I'm aware this is a bad look, and posting a photo with them upset many people. Not the best decision on my part." It was obvious from the tone of the tweets that he was only saying these things because he felt pressure to, not because of any principle he himself had. When someone asked him why he went ahead and posted the picture if he knew beforehand the controversy behind them, his reply was, "I wanted to meet with them because they were famous and I had the opportunity to watch a creator who was a pivotal part of my childhood and early YouTube adventures. I had no care for the moral implications at the time, I just wanted to feel cool." Unsurprisingly, this statement didn't do much to satisfy anybody. The thing it seemed to do was piss off all the people the photo didn't manage to annoy initially, including Ethan himself. He responded via his Instagram story, adding some more context. "This is Brad. Someone on the crew was kind enough to get him VIP tickets so he was able to come backstage and hang out with us. I had the chance to speak with him for a little bit and thought he was a nice guy. Here he is apologizing for taking a photograph with me. Because I am a Zionist." What does this even mean? To those that use that word as an insult, it simply means anyone that believes Israel has a right to continue to exist. According to recent polling, this would include 90% of the world's Jewish population. That means that Brad here would need to apologize for taking a photo with 9 out of 10 Jews. Whatever criticism I have voiced for Israel, whatever financial contributions I have made to the people of Gaza, nothing will ever be enough. Because I, like 90% of all Jews, am a Zionist. I've been on the receiving end of rabid anti-Semitism ever since October 7th, but this one made me especially sad. Ethan was clearly more passionate about the topic, and in response, all Brad had to say was admitting that he was trying to please everyone and failing. But before the relationship between the two could get any worse, Brad agreed to come onto the H3H3 podcast and hammer out the differences over a call.
Everything that's been going on. I am currently on an internet break. I deleted Twitter off my phone, logged off everything. Honestly, what ended up happening is I ended up posting that photo. Kind of taught me a lesson very quickly about the fact that I need to work on core values and just like knowing what I believe in. And the problem is like, I wasn't doing that. And so as soon as this hits and I'm just like, I can ignore everything in the world. It's like, I handle it like an absolute entitled jerk. I was not prepared for this.
So by the end of this Brad breakdown episode, he had managed to upset both sides of the online culture war, as well as apologizing to both sides too. He said he was going to take a break from the internet and people just wanted him to take care of himself at this point. But Brad leaving the internet for a while isn't something that happened before he got into even more drama. He was anonymously accused of having a gambling addiction and cheating on his partner by John from ARTV before his girlfriend herself commented to deny the claims. Brad himself never addressed the situation directly. Instead, he posted and then quickly unlisted a strange video where he talks about recovering from a weed addiction and how much of a terrible person he used to be.
In fact, YouTube in general was kind of like my way of disappearing from having to focus on anything or anyone besides myself. I have been very selfish. I've been I've just been very selfish. And it wasn't always like this. I believe in 2017, 2018, I was doing well. What ended up happening is I ended up having to go to college, and I became very resentful of my parents. I became resentful of my community, resentful of people who were in my community, who did care about me and were trying to help me, as I essentially found, well, let me put it like this. As soon as YouTube started popping off, I saw an opportunity, not just an opportunity career-wise, but an opportunity to be a kid forever. Essentially, YouTube was an outlet to where I could dismiss my parents, dismiss my world, wouldn't have to worry about where I'm at, where I am, when I am, ever. I could just disappear into this. Make videos, make money through that, and honestly, I could pay my way into never having to worry about anyone or anything ever again. This, of course, combined with the fact that I did end up starting to smoke weed, was really bad. What ended up happening is, when I was smoking weed, I started actually working through some stuff, working through a lot of really difficult things. I started to see myself.
But things were only getting worse for Brad. Following all that, he got into his third bit of drama in only a couple of weeks when he used his channel to promote Rose Millette. Rose is a notorious creator who's known for repeatedly stating her controversial opinions on sexual assault. When criticized about the decision, he initially doubled down, stating that his audience was lacking nuance, before taking it all back and apologizing in a community post. With only a couple of days, he repeated the same thing he had done when Ethan Klein. Except during the Rose controversy, he actually tried to fight his audience, but failed miserably. This led to him going back on his word with Rose, which sent her into a mental breakdown of her own. Brad needed to put down the social media and take a proper break from the internet and all the drama. And that's exactly what happened. He unlisted almost all of the videos on his channel, deleted his Twitter, and had both his subreddit and Discord taken over by mods and privated. Many thought this would be the end of the controversy for a while. But just a few weeks later, Brad was back, and with him, all the drama. Haruko, the main editor of all of Brad's videos, came out in mid-August to accuse Brad of not clearing a $400 debt. She attached a screenshot of her PayPal balance in a tweet saying, "Brad Taste in Music put me in $411 debt and is refusing to help resolve this with me." Despite Brad's partner Tina stepping in to try and defend him, things got optically worse when a private message between Brad and Haruko was leaked. Brad sounded extremely rude and threatening in the message, saying, "Haruko, is this about the $151? Because that's the only transaction in any pictures I see. You better be careful with getting this upset over something that I've been working on at my own pace. Now you have your girlfriends you can talk to and they can help you maybe figure this out. If I get proof of anything saying more than $151 was taken out, then it is not my place to solve this." Eventually, Brad did sort out the issue with Haruko and she put out a tweet saying so. However, Brad still managed to release and quickly delete a video in which he angrily complained about the situation and called it a complete lie.
I am being accused of a lot right now, and I'm going through a lot, and this is very serious. And this person who is supposed to be my friend has publicly accused me of theft on a platform, and I believe they are trying to hurt me. And I am not okay. And I've been spending literally any moment I could all day trying to figure out this financial thing with them. Literally, like, from the moment that I knew it was serious, I was getting calls, my fiance was getting calls, and we were answering them and like picking up, and like I was like, okay, something is serious, like something is wrong. Okay, this charge, deal with this. Okay, 151, got it. Oh, I gotta deal with other stuff. I'm busy. Peruko, I need you to be patient with me, please. I'm busy all day. I come back and it's like, I literally am like struggling, and Peruko's like, you, like, look at the PayPal statements, you lie. I'm confused, and then I see the Twitter and I look at the picture. Oh, it says refunded under the bottom one, so I didn't even get to that one yet. And instead, now 500,000 people have seen something that is a complete lie. I'm sorry. From a friend.
He had a hard time moving on from the incident with his editor because a few days later he would delist one of his videos featuring the editor. He would then once again upload and quickly delete a short video on his channel. This time, not to apologize, however. Brad, for some reason, begs his audience for $10,000.
But I removed the video because the person in the video, let's just say, was really hurting my mental health and like viciously. So I figured no more of that. So yeah, it's a great video, but I need to stop making friends online. So what's gonna happen now is there's gonna be a lot less chat interaction, but I love music. I just really hate that I am like super mentally ill, and and anyone has access to the ability to talk to me. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna ask help from you guys. Financial help, like actual financial help right now. You can add super request things to the bottom. I can also link my PayPal, but right now I need enough money to support my family, and basically I need enough money to last about a month. So in total, maybe about 10 grand with my family and moving and closing off leases. Yeah. Like that's like the minimum.
What's worse is the fact that after deleting this video, he would make a community post once again blaming other things for his bad decisions. His statement read, "Posted something stupid instead of staying offline. Gonna use the 30-minute rule I made up and blame my autism and being betrayed by my best friend last night." Trying to spin it off as a joke seems to be the strategy he's going with these days. He released another video and in the first 10 seconds joked about begging for money again. And the spiraling continues. He even joked about taking legal action against his former editor in the comments, as he's clearly not over it yet. When you take a step back and look at the saga as a whole, it becomes easy to see that Brad isn't necessarily a bad guy. He just struggles a lot with trying to control how people see him and is way too invested in what strangers on the internet say. He handles every controversy badly, making it worse each time because he's always online. If a change does not happen soon, he could lose the very audience he cares so much about.